The movie begins in Shopwell's supermarket. The supermarket's manager, Darren, turns on the lights and opens the doors, letting the customers enter. A sausage named Frank wakes his friend Barry and informs them that they overslept. He says that the other edible items are about to start singing their song to thank the humans they take as gods. Corn begins singing, and the other foodstuffs sing and wish to be selected to be taken out of the store, which they call the Great Beyond. They think the humans will take care of them and anticipate their departure. Frank talks to Barry and cheers him up as the other sausages make fun of him for being deformed. While talking, Darren walks around and throws the old food into a waste bin. The food in the store gets terrified as they watch him dispose of some spoiled sausages. Darren walks away, and Frank wonders why the gods will be harsh even after they follow the sayings of the song. Barry tells him they aren't meant to understand the gods' will, but he says it would be better if they had proof. Carl makes them stare at the buns and says he can't wait to fill them. A bun named Brenda insults Carl and tells him that none of the buns will want him inside them. Frank, Brenda's boyfriend, talks to her, and they decide to go against the rules and touch. Later, a man returns to the store with a jar of honey mustard and returns it. Honey Mustard freaks out, and as he tries to tell the others the truth about the outside world, Firewater, a Native American liquor bottle, threatens him and disappears. A woman passes by the sausage and hot dog bun aisle. She picks Frank and Brenda's packaging, and they celebrate because they are together. The woman picks a douche named Douche and eventually picks Honey Mustard. Honey Mustard freaks out and tries telling them about the Great Beyond. He says that the gods aren't gods but monsters and decides to kill himself. Frank breaks out of his package and saves Honey Mustard but begins slipping. Honey Mustard instructs him to talk to Firewater if he wants to know more about the Great Beyond. The woman stops the trolley, and Honey Mustard falls to his death. A man bumps his trolley on hers, and some items fall. Frank stands up and sees that some items are injured. Brenda saves him, and the trolley crushes a bag of peanuts, resulting in the death of more items. Douche realizes his nozzle is damaged, and the woman abandons him and leaves the store. He blames Frank and Brenda for his situation, and as he tries to attack them, Darren grabs him and throws him into the trash. Frank talks to Brenda, and she says the gods are punishing them because they touched tips before leaving their packaging. They see as Lavash and Sammy Bagel argue, and they refuse to travel to their aisle together because of their different beliefs. Brenda suggests that they return to their aisles and enter different packages to be selected. Frank says they must climb to the top of an aisle and begin their journey. Douche makes his way out of the trash and sees his reflection. He mourns his damaged nozzle and sees a juice box. He moves to the juice box and gets an idea as he sees that the juice is injured. Douche sucks the juices out of the box, replenishing his strength. He uses the box's sticker to treat his injury and decides to have revenge on Frank and Brenda. Frank and the others walk through some flowers while Lavash and Bagel argue. They get to a point where they can see every aisle, and realizing he wants to talk to Firewater, Frank suggests they pass through the liquor aisle. Brenda and the others agree with him, and as they walk through the aisle, they realize that the drinks leave their packages at will and throw parties. Frank sees Firewater's cave and tells them to wait for him as he enters. He enters the aisle and asks Firewater what happens in the Great Beyond. Firewater instructs him to look into his bag, and as Frank goes deeper, he pushes him inside the bag and calls his friends. Firewater suggests they kill Frank, but the others refuse and say they won't be any different from the gods. They release Frank and inform him that they are non-perishable, meaning they are immortal. They sit around the fire and prepare to tell him the truth about the Great Beyond. Meanwhile, Brenda talks to the others, and a tequila walks to her. He informs her that Frank is searching for them in his aisle and offers to take them there. They enter a building, and he instructs them not to move. A lesbian taco named Teresa sees Brenda and gets attracted to her. She goes to them, informs them that they are in a trap, and makes them hide in a different room. Douche enters the building and doesn't see Brenda and the others. He gets angry and smashes the tequila's head. Teresa and the others sneak through a tunnel. Frank smokes with Firewater and the others. Firewater informs him that they invented the Great Beyond because the gods kill them after they leave the store. He tells the story of how everyone knew about the horror that awaited them. They decided to create the story of the Great Beyond to prevent the people from being scared. Frank gets terrified and says he has to inform everyone because they might die. He asks for proof, and they instruct him to go to the dark aisle beyond the ice to find the proof he is looking for. The woman from the store arrives at her house with Barry and the others. She places them on a table, and they celebrate. She washes a potato, and as she begins peeling it, they realize that the woman will eat them, and they try to escape. She cooks most of the items, and they suffer a gruesome death. Barry and Carl try to escape through the window, but the woman sees them. She stabs Carl and cuts him in half, but Barry falls out the window before she can kill him. Brenda and the others walk on a path, and Brenda says that the gods are punishing her for being a slut. Teresa tells her that everyone has impure thoughts but says they must never give in to them. She promises to help her get home. Lavash calls Brenda fat and ugly, and Douche arrives and attacks Brenda. He stands above her, and she rips off the sticker, giving them a chance to escape. They run to the exit, but Brenda is too fat to make it through. Teresa and the others drag her out before Douche gets to them. She insults him, and they walk away while Teresa stares at Brenda's butt. Barry runs on the street and panics because he is alone. A human walks around, and Barry hides behind a chair. He sees a man with a bag from the supermarket and wonders if the man can help him get home. The man buys drugs from a drug dealer, and as he enters his car, Barry grabs onto his shoelace and follows him. In the supermarket, Frank reunites with Brenda and the others and tries telling her the truth about humans. She tells him not to talk badly about the gods and says they must return home. Frank asks her why she believes in something without proof, and they begin to argue. She says she will go to the great beyond without him and fill herself with whatever she wants. Frank tries reasoning with her, but she says he doesn't care about her. She breaks up with him, and Teresa and the others follow her as she walks away. While walking through the ice aisle, Frank hallucinates about Brenda being stuffed by other people. He runs to her but emerges at the end of the aisle. Barry arrives at the drug addict's house, and they enter inside. The man injects himself with bath salts which make him high. The man gains the ability to see and understand Barry's movement, and Barry is surprised. Some other items emerge, and the man gets terrified. They ask him to stop eating and drinking them, and he promises not to eat food again. Barry instructs him to take him home, but the man falls asleep. Bagel and Lavash begin to bond because they have a common friend. Teresa asks Brenda why she looks sad, and she talks about Frank. Teresa says that Frank has a point about the rules because they limit people from doing what they want. They arrive at their various aisles, and Brenda thanks Teresa for returning them to their aisle. Teresa confesses and says she has feelings for her. Brenda says she would have felt the same, but the rules are against it. Meanwhile, Barry and the others look at a map and wonder how they will return to the supermarket. An intelligent Gum named Gum emerges and offers to help. He tells them how he was stuck under the desk of a brilliant scientist for 20 years. He tells them where the supermarket is and says how long it will take if the man drives. Barry tries waking the man, but as he wakes up, he cannot perceive their dimension. He opens a bag of chips, walks into the kitchen with Barry, and throws him into a pot of water. Meanwhile, Frank arrives at the dark aisle and finds a cooking book. He sees pictures of items being eaten and tears some pages as proof. Brenda enters another pack of buns and waits for the store to open. Douche grabs a bottle of vodka that's walking. He opens the vodka and drinks it, revealing to have killed several people to get stronger. Frank makes his way to the front desk and announces to the people that the gods are evil. He shows them pictures from the cookbook, and they become terrified. The people panic because they can't run or fight against the gods. They decide to continue believing that the gods are good, and as Darren opens the store, Korn sings, and the humans enter. A woman picks up Brenda's packing, and Frank runs after her as he tries to save her. He runs through some aisles but cannot find her and becomes sad. Barry emerges from a vent, and after they embrace, he informs Frank that they can kill the gods. The vent falls, and they see the drug addict's severed head. Barry uses his mouth to tell Frank how he fell, and a giant axe severed his head. He says the gods are monsters, and the people don't believe him because he insulted their beliefs. They wonder how they will defeat the other gods, and Gum and the others emerge. Gum and the others place the bat salt on some sticks. They shoot the sticks at the humans, but the bat salt doesn't work immediately. The woman walks to the front door with her goods. They begin seeing the talking food, and Frank locks the door before she leaves. She grabs him, but Brenda grabs her hair and knocks her out. They reunite and inform the people that there is hope. While talking, the other humans go crazy and attack the food. Lavash and Bagel save Frank and the others from a man, and he pursues them around. Some candy people push him and hold him to the ground while some mints and cola juice enter his mouth, resulting in his death. Darren picks up his gun, and Douche walks to him. He gets into the man's trousers, inserts his nozzle into the man, and uses his groin to control him. Frank and the others try to fight him, but he pushes them away and grabs Frank. He bites Frank, and gum emerges. Barry uses some tanks to propel the trash can toward Darren. The items work together and make the can, which carries Darren and Douche, out of the store and into the sky. The tank explodes, killing them in the process. Frank and Brenda celebrate their victory and begin making out. Everyone in the store begins making out as they celebrate. Later, Barry rushes to Frank and the others and asks them to follow him to Firewater's cave. Firewater and Gum inform them that the world isn't real and they are entertainment for monsters. They activate a portal allowing them to travel to the other dimension. Frank and the others agree and smoke before stepping into the portal. The end. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.